where do I even begin? Where this 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 show had so much promise. It was one of my favorite shows. I loved in the prime of this show. I loved it as much as I loved Game of Thrones in its prime. Yeah, Ragnar Lothbrok was so good. Travis Fimmel knocked it out of the park with his performances. And then after season 4, this show just tanked. Hard. Well, I won't say hard. I won't say the show ended as badly as Game of Thrones did. This show, I can see myself rewatching it up until end of season 4. I don't think I can bring myself to watch what they do to Bjorn and Ivar. They ruined them. They ruined Bjorn and they ruined Ivar. All I can say, I'm going to try my best to avoid spoilers, even though I kind of already spoiled it. But really, the ruined progression of those two characters had already occurred before this final season. It had already been happening in season 5, and in the first half of season 6, Bjorn's character really started taking a trip downhill, and Ivar's too. When they introduced Ivar the Boneless as an adult to us, he was able to fight off his siblings despite his crippledness. He was still intimidating and he was terrifying despite not being able to walk. What the hell happened to that? What happened to that Ivar? By the end of this show, even in the first half of season 6, he doesn't do any fucking fighting himself. He doesn't do anything. He's not scary anymore. What happened? It doesn't make sense for the character. It didn't. Like, nothing happened to where Ivar shouldn't have been able to continue to fight as badass as he once was. And then the motivations behind Bjorn and Ivar didn't make much sense. Or at least the choices that they would do didn't make sense. And all right, let's first like let me obviously this is not a historically accurate show, and it never was. But at least it was entertaining. They messed around with history in the beginning of this show, and I was fine with it. First 4 seasons were fine. Like, I didn't care that, they raided Lindisfarne, and then within the time span of a few years they go on and raid Paris. Like, that didn't happen. that didn't happen. But I didn't care. It worked, right? Now, I don't know if it worked because of Travis Fimmel's performance and the overall performance of the actors were able to carry the writing of the show, because I haven't rewatched those first 4 seasons in a couple years now. So, but the wasted potential when Ragnar died in season 4, and it was now the show was on the shoulders of the sons of Ragnar. The 2 best actors out of them, who also turned out to be kind of, in my opinion, the 2 most interesting characters, and the 2 most, at least when we were first introduced to their adult selves, was Bjorn and Ivar. They were the 2 most interesting for me when they were introduced as adults. Now, of course, Bjorn had been an adult for a couple seasons by the time that Ivar and the rest of them are adults, but you know what I mean. Ivar and Bjorn, personally, the 2 best actors aside from Egbert and Ragnar on the show. Like, Ragnar's number 1, Egbert number 2, and then Bjorn, Ivar. They were that's my list for the best actors on the show. I like Catherine Winnick, but her performances in the last 2 seasons they didn't sell me. Like, something, I don't know if the writing had deteriorated so much that her acting couldn't do it. I don't know. But it wasn't selling for me. At least Bjorn and Ivar, they were pretty capable of still making even the bad stuff kind of entertaining. But like I don't know. Like that's my thing. I'm just lost for words because of the show just deteriorated and deteriorated with each passing season after Ragnar's death. And it's like it's just a disappointing end where characters died and whatnot. Like I just can't get my mind over that, the wasted potential, and then the completely utterly pointless subplot of going to the Kievan Rus. Why did we go there? It turned out to play absolutely no fucking point, and I just spit, and I'm sorry. It played no point in the show. There was no point for the Kievan Rus. What? I think I'm just gonna get into spoilers. It's been long enough since the show released, and I think people who care about my opinion on the show, you've probably already watched it. If you haven't, click off now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into spoilers here. The how do I want to word this? The tension between the brothers, the Viking civil war or whatever between the brothers, between Ivar versus Bjorn and whatnot. I understood the tension at first when Ivar killed Sigurd. But for them to kill off Bjorn, who just wanted his family to be together and whole, and for the show to kill him off without him seeing the family back together, without them coming to reconcile with one another, I feel like just damages his character progression, and it makes him not as cool. I don't know. It just felt so disappointing to have him die, and then nothing really happened with his death. No one seemed to care about Bjorn's death, which is like, he's been the character since the beginning. He's been one of the few characters that have been around with the show since the beginning. Now the actor hasn't. The Alexander Ludwig, the actor for adult Bjorn, didn't join the show until I think season 2. But the character Bjorn was with the show since season 1. And his wife Torvi, when she finds out about his death, she doesn't care. She doesn't even get upset. Uba gets a little upset, but then doesn't do anything about Bjorn's death. He just moves on. He's just like, oh, okay. My oldest brother, dies. Okay, let's go. Let's go on. Let's continue with our adventure. Why? At least what Bjorn's death should have done was bring the remaining brothers all fucking together. It should have been like a thing of unification, and it fucking wasn't. What the hell happens to Gaddagat at the end? People who the show just introduced within the last season are taking control over Kattegat? Why? That's not satisfying. Oh my god. Essentially what I can't really put into words just how disappointed I am in this show. It used to be so good. I think ultimately what I can say is that the show wasted the potential of its actors. Because this show had some really talented actors. I personally also really enjoy Uba and Vitsirk. When we see Vitsirk struggle with his drug addiction, even though I disagreed with the choice of giving him the addiction, Vitsirk's actor fucking nailed his performance with that addiction. Nailed it. Out of the fucking park. He was really good in that. But then they don't fucking do anything with his character. They don't do anything with the remaining sons of Ragnar. And the way Ivar fucking dies at the end is absolutely fucking stupid. It's stupid. All I can say is that I think summary of these last, I guess, 3, 4 seasons. Season 5A, no, I'm just gonna blame it on season 5B, 6A, and 6B. The last 3 seasons. Disappointing. Just disappointment. Uh, Unsatisfying. That's really all I can say. I was hoping that this show, after Ragnar's death, like, there was so much potential. It could have been so good. Like, they didn't need to add the tension between the brothers. Like, I can understand why they would do the tension between the brothers, right? But it wasn't necessary. But like, I didn't disagree with it. But the way they carried on with it and dragged it on was stupid. And just how it all resolved was just unsatisfying. And also, let me tell you, they fucked up Alfred. A show. Alfred should not have been done this way. And I feel so bad for the actor. I feel so bad for Alfred's actor. The way they did him dirty this last season. Yeah, I got nothing more to say. Um, this was just me rambling on for 12 minutes. Yeah, peace.